people have to die. There's a story.
Senior citizens, grandparents.
Well, and there was a story in the New York Times about a lawyer who, big spread about a lawyer who influenced the president with two arguments. That senior citizens were going to die anyway. They were unproductive, and they cost a lot of money. They cost a lot of money.
Really?
Right? So there's the logic that the president has taken forward. And who's being abandoned? It's World War II vets who gave their entire life, now in their 90s, the frailest among us, and they're being abandoned. You're seeing Korean War vets in the golden years of their life, after giving their all to their country, being abandoned by this president. You're seeing Vietnam vets who went through hell, not only at war, but when they came home, they were treated like garbage. But you know what? They still love their country. They still wave their flag. They're still proud that they went and fought for their country when they were called, while people like Donald Trump stayed home and went to elite colleges and dodged the draft. But those Vietnam vets, they're being left behind. And it seems that Republicans now are making the argument, let the World War II vets die, let the Korean War vets die, let the Vietnam vets die, let everybody in that generation die, because we're worried about Boeing. We don't want Boeing, who got, by the way, a $17 billion bailout by this package after killing people because of their selfishness, because of their greediness. I mean, all these other countries, all these other companies with stock buybacks, the same thing happened there. We have Republicans. We have people like Lindsey Graham and Rick Scott more concerned about Boeing than unemployed people in their own state. Now, I understand with Rick Scott, because he cut unemployment benefits so low in Florida that Florida actually has the worst unemployment benefits in America because of Rick Scott. But Rick Scott was worried about unemployed Americans getting too much money, while he had no problem with Boeing getting a $17 billion bailout after killing people because of their selfishness and their greediness. Mika, the priorities, I've never in my life seen the priorities laid out in such a stark way between one party and the other. Now, as you know, I'm not a Democrat. There are a lot of things that Democrats do that drive me crazy. I couldn't. I mean, I watched the first Democratic debate, and I just looked at wonderment and at how far left Twitter had pulled the party. But there is no doubt, if you're talking about the party of life right now,
right?
As the American Conservative wrote, right now, these conservatives are making Democrats who are pro-choice actually look more pro-life, because they're only worried about the unborn. It is the born. It is the weakest among us. It is senior citizens who they're ready to euthanize because they want Boeing's corporate earnings to not dip too low. They want to make sure that people that own businesses in their district or in their states will keep giving them campaign contributions. So I don't know what, I grew up in a Baptist church, and I heard a lot about abortion and on the front end of life and euthanizing seniors on the other side of life.
Insanity.
And let me just be clear. If we have scientists and we have doctors and we have medical professionals who've spent their lives using their God-given skills to save lives, and you have the ability to help them save lives, and you are telling the president not to do that, that is killing. That is, in fact, there's no way that you can say, well, abortion's bad, but killing a senior citizen, and by the way, it's now the nurse that died in the hospital was 48 years old and healthy. By the way, got bad news for you. A lot of 30 and 40-year-olds are getting this and dying of it. So this argument that we're going to just let senior citizens die because they're no longer productive. That's the argument that is taking hold in the Republican Party.
The president's a senior citizen.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell's a senior citizen.
They're cloistered. They're protected. They're not like the 93-year-old Vietnam vet that's in a nursing home in Allentown, Pennsylvania right now, cut off from his children, cut off from his grandchildren. It's not like the 87-year-old grandmother who gave her entire life, maybe a single mom who raised the kids after their father may have left or their father may have died in a war. And now she's 87 years old and alone and scared in a nursing home where her children and grandchildren can't visit, can't even send them mail in some places, from what I've heard. And they're sitting there alone, afraid that they're dying, and they're hearing the president's aides say, well, people just, you know what? People are going to die. Let's just thin out the herd so America's GDP can rise faster. I don't know. I don't know who these people are that think this way, but they're out there, and their voices are growing stronger as more Americans.